Welcome to Discover DeSoto, a podcast brought to you by the Patterson Foundation. In this podcast, you'll hear stories from all corners of DeSoto County through the lens of DeSoto County Ahead, from residents to community leaders and everyone in between. Join us as we discover DeSoto, one story at a time. Hi, and welcome to Discover DeSoto, a Beyond the Blog podcast brought to you by the Patterson Foundation. I'm Alicia Exantus, Community Engagement Specialist with the Patterson Foundation, and your host today. Joining me is Sondra Guffey, DeSoto County's Director of Economic Development and Tourism. And today, we'll be diving into her aspirations for DeSoto and the many ways she is working towards making them a reality through her work or her involvement with various TPF initiatives, including DeSoto County Ahead. Sondra, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Alicia. It's so good to be here. What a great opportunity, and we love the Patterson Foundation.
Oh, thank you so much. We're so excited to have you. You are so involved. Everywhere I go in DeSoto County, if I don't see you, I hear someone telling me how much they love and adore you. So I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. It's a great place to be.
All right. I love it. Let's dive in. First, we are thrilled to speak with you for many reasons, but one of them worth mentioning is you were one of our DeSoto Digest newsletters community champions. It was October of 2024, and at that time I know you had been in your position for 3 years, but now 4. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. What brought you to DeSoto County to work?
What a great question, because I was working in Northport, which is not far from DeSoto, really, in economic development for the city of Northport, and saw this opportunity. It was a chance to grow, and I love rural. I like the community, the small town feel, and everything just came together, and like, this is the place where I belong.
I love it. Hearing you talk about working in DeSoto, rural community, I think of that tight-knit community, what we hear about. And I specifically want to point out one of our 8 themes here. Number 3. I'm going to point out number 3. And it says, nonprofit, business, resident, and economic opportunities to support DeSoto County. That's you. That's you. That's what you do at the Turner Center. That's what I'm hearing. Yes. Not just at the Turner Center, I'm sure more. So tell me, what does that role as the Director of Economic Development and Tourism, what does it look like for DeSoto County? Tell me what you do. I'd love to hear a little bit more.
Oh, what I love about my job is that no 2 days are the same, no 2 hours are the same. It's there's a lot of variety and a lot of what, kind of what comes at me at the time. But really, the focus in economic development is to drive business and jobs. We are in the business of helping create jobs that are above the average or above minimum in pay, with the idea that we want our residents to be able to work in DeSoto County.
Yeah,
it's really important for just so many reasons. It's healthy. It's good for the environment if people aren't driving back and forth. It's great if people feel pride in the fact that they are working and have a good job. I mean, what sense of purpose it gives people. So I love the idea of helping bring jobs and keep jobs in the county, and that's so important in economic development. And that's a focus right there, keeping business that they're growing, thriving, bringing in new, and then help grow the workforce. Because that's an issue that we're finding throughout Florida and a lot of the Southeast, is that finding the people to do the jobs is very difficult. So we have to do whatever we can by working with partners such as South Florida State College, Career Source Heartland. Those are great partners to help us grow that workforce and help create the kinds of people and workers that are needed at the time. Yeah. So that's part of what we do in economic development. Tourism is more the fun job. That's marketing the fun stuff that we do in DeSoto.
I love hearing your passion. Yeah. I can hear your passion for it. Okay, so you've been there 4 years. Yes. What type of growth have you seen? What type of businesses have you seen pop up, come along, opportunities? Tell me, or what's coming?
Yeah, it takes a while. I'd love to be able to say, hey, in 4 years, we have this great big building here full of businesses. That hasn't quite happened, but we are seeing smaller businesses come in. We certainly do see the retail and the restaurants, and that's great. That's not what we go after for a couple of reasons. One, they don't create high-wage jobs, so that's not our main focus, although that it's important to have those. And we have seen national chains come to DeSoto, and that's significant because it shows that we're on their radar screens. Culver's, they're not going to just go anywhere. They are thriving there. Wawa, a huge 7-Eleven is opening in July, which is great because that shows their confidence in our community,
right?
And saying this is where we want to be. So we are seeing some of those nationals, and that's always a good sign. We see a lot of family-owned businesses, especially in our downtown historic district. I know you've talked about the historic district and what a gem that is, but those businesses help create the character of that downtown. And we have a thriving Main Street. So I love that. And, we've seen some more come through, grow up. We were hit hard by Hurricane Ian, and the resiliency of that community is beautiful. And those businesses, new ones have come in, others have rebuilt and are continuing to grow. So we've seen that. What I do see, and is very interesting, is probably once a week somebody calling saying, I'm thinking of coming to DeSoto County. And they find us through all kinds of different means, and they see that this is an area where we have land, we have opportunity, and our prices are going to be lower than going to Sarasota or Manatee County. There's no land left in Sarasota and Manatee. If you drive around too much, there's. We were looking at a piece of property today that 290 acres. You're not going to find 290 vacant acres.
No.
In many places left in Florida.
Right.
So they are coming rural. They see that we are not the middle of nowhere. We are the middle of everything, and we like to point that out because we're an hour from anything you could possibly need.
I love that. We're not in the middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of everything.
Yes.
Oh, you're onto something there. That's great.
My boss came up with that, so
that's good.
But we use it.
That's
because
great.
It's true.
Yeah.
You drive State Road 70 and US 17, north, south, east, west. That's it. So you can get anywhere you need to go. 31 takes you into Babcock Ranch and then Fort Myers, and then you've got 70 into Sarasota and Manatee, and 17 to go all the way up north Orlando, wherever you want to go. So we really are a central hub, and we do see trucks, and so that's makes us very attractive for those in some kind of distribution and logistics. That's why the Walmart distribution center chose DeSoto County.
Okay.
So it's right where they need to be.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't imagine getting that phone call. I didn't even think about how that whole process works. So that's very interesting. Now, I can tell you love DeSoto. Now, you don't live in DeSoto.
I do not.
So how was it? You come into DeSoto, you're like, I work here. Was everyone, were there open arms? Like, hey, welcome. You're one of us. How did that go?
It's, small town is different because most of these people have lived there all their lives. Their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents. Very friendly. But, there is still, I have a learning process to know because they just refer to everybody by their first name. Well, Jessica does that. Oh, who's Jessica?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I know a few Jessica.
Right.
That kind of thing, you just have to kind of learn, okay, when they refer to somebody by their first name, everybody else knows who that is.
Yes.
A little bit of a learning curve. The good side is, it's easy to find people, find somebody who knows somebody, easy. Bad side is everybody knows what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
And any small town.
Absolutely.
Any small town in the world has that reputation that, somebody knows your parents know if you got in trouble in school before you get home.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I have heard that. I've heard that in a community conversation where I sat next to you. So we are going to dive into that, but
Great.
I've heard those exact words from residents or from people who work there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that. And you know what? It's funny. The resident we heard say that, she was a mom of, I think, 5. And she was like, I love that about DeSoto County. I know what's happening before my kids walk in the door. So, hey, it's small town. That's how it goes.
That is, it's a wonderful thing because people are looking out for each other.
Yeah, that's great. We don't see that. A lot of our communities now, you don't know your neighbors' names. And so That's really special. Another thing under what makes DeSoto special. There
Absolutely.
it is. There it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I want to jump into 2022. So there were community conversations that were starting to take place with Aspirations to Action through the Patterson Foundation. And we do partner with the Harwood Institute. Now, tell me, were you a part of those conversations? Did you know someone that was? Fill me in on how that went a couple years ago.
I love the fact that the Patterson Foundation, and I'm not just saying this because we're on your podcast, but Patterson Foundation came in and embraced DeSoto County. Like, I was blown away that how much you, and it's sincere and it's real, and you're here for the long run with DeSoto. So I want to say that right up front. And when I found out that you all were doing this, I'm in, because this is exactly what we need to do in economic development. We want to hear from the people. What do you want? What's your vision for our community?
Yes.
How do you want this to look? Because we need their buy-in. And everything that you all do is done first class, professionally, beautifully. Everything is planned well. Everything is orchestrated perfectly. And that speaks to my heart. I love the fact that, I knew whatever you did, it was going to be done well. And it was. So got to those community conversations, was so glad to see so many people and the efforts that you went to reach different communities, different populations, even holding conversations in Spanish and Creole.
Yeah.
Which I don't think has been done before. If it has, I didn't know that. And I'm so glad to see that, really going out of your way to get voices heard.
Well, as you know, and it's so sweet hearing you say those words, but you're doing the exact same thing in your position. I hear you. You're not arriving with the answer. You're asking questions. You're, aspirational or change driven by aspirations. And I hear you doing it on your end. So it's really easy to partner with someone like you who gets it. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. You're really listening. And that's great. Okay. So we have those conversations. Someone that someone that you work with attends it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. One of my coworkers, he got into one of those and went, "Oh, I see a lot of things in the neighborhood where he lives in Arcadia." He said, a lot of my neighbors are Jamaican, and it's kind of interesting. It's its own mini culture where he has, and he thought, I really want to do more with my community, and because in addition to economic development and tourism, I work for the Turner Center, which is our big community center. And, he works there too, and thought, we're underutilized. There must be some things that we can do for the community, with the community. He jumped in, got very interested in youth, because we hear the youth say, there's nothing to do here. And so wanting to really try to address that and bring activities that will keep the youth engaged and out of trouble. And he's already implementing many of those things at the Turner Center. And now he's going to move it up to the next stage in the coaching process and what is happening with the Harwood and the conversations. I'm so glad that he's doing that. It's been great for him, and it'll be great for the community too. Okay,
you're doing a perfect job of this. I know exactly who you're talking about, which is even more fun because I feel like, I have a little DeSoto in me just from being a part of the community. I don't live there, but being a part of what goes on. You meet people who live there and you fall in love with them. I know who you're talking about. I want him to come talk to us. So we're going to make sure we have him listen to this. Shout out to you, Mr. E. We'll say that. Okay. But that brings us into the Turner Center. So we have those initial conversations and we hear everyone saying that communication is a big concern. Not only the newspaper not being available or newsletters and internet being an issue, which I will dive into, but there's it's hard for even nonprofits to talk to each other. So we throw an event in 2023, the DeSoto County Ahead event. But where could we throw such a big event? We don't know where to go. We knew exactly where to go, and we had it at the Turner Center, and you had a table there.
Yes.
So not only did you make that a possibility and welcome us with open arms, you see this event. We have a whole exhibitor section where everyone can go talk and exchange numbers and get to know each other, make connections, that connective tissue. That's what we say here at TPF. Yes. We have that at the event. What are you thinking sitting at that table? And tell me who you represented at the table.
Well, I was there with the Rotary Club, the Arcadia Rotary Club.
Another thing on your list.
We're a service organization. We really wanted, how many people came by and said, I didn't know what is Rotary. And, as a service, we're an international service organization. So that was really important for us to be there. And we were so grateful for that opportunity and to see so many nonprofits that were there, and they're there to serve the people of DeSoto. I think it's great to get them to talk to each other. And
absolutely,
that may be one of the best things that came out of that, because they have resources that they can share. They have connections that they can make. And I have a wonderful story to tell you. Okay. I don't know if I can tell you now. You want me to tell you now?
Tell me.
It crosses, nonprofits as well as broadband.
I would love it. Let's do it.
Let me tell you this great story. Big brothers, big sisters.
Yes. I love her too. I need
Crystal.
her.
You need Crystal.
Crystal, we need you.
Yes.
I will cut this out and I will send it to her. Crystal, we need you.
Yes. I will bring her in.
She's so amazing.
She is. She's
her.
incredible.
Yeah.
So Big Brothers Big Sisters is there. Senior Friendship Center. Okay, working with our seniors.
I love them too.
Yes.
I love them.
Diana is amazing.
I know.
We have so many amazing people.
Really do.
Yes. They work together with they had some bigs who are high school students.
Okay.
So they work with younger kids, but these bigs went to the Senior Friendship Center to help the seniors with basic computer and cell phone and technology issues, which baffles some of our older folks. I mean, it baffles me, let's face it.
Absolutely.
To try to help them just, basic, get on the internet, send email to their family, get on Facebook safely, some of these things. And it was sponsored by Comcast, one of our broadband partners. So it was just a great collaboration between two nonprofits, and then bringing broadband in, because that is that third leg of the stool of broadband.
Yeah.
We need the devices, the connectivity, and then the knowledge of how to use it. So they were really kind of bridging those gaps and helping us see, making that happen was beautiful.
And they met there at the event?
I'm not sure if that's where they met, but
I was
it was
just
the idea that, the conversation continues.
Absolutely. And we talk about a catalytic change.
Yes.
And with that, just that little spark, and then it keep going into the community. And that's what we also call a small win. So we a lot of times like to say, when you're doing the work, it's hard to see that as a small win, but you're outside, you're not in those organizations, and you're like, that's incredible. What a bond, what an opportunity for not just those in the Senior Friendship Center, but for those seniors in school, adolescents, teenagers. That's huge. That's a life skill that is really important to have. Really important.
It is.
That's awesome.
For everybody. And you also addressed the communication gap, at the fact that people say, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the newsletter that you do is beautiful, and you do it in Spanish. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, yeah.
In English and in Spanish, because we've got to break down those barriers.
You have to. You have to try.
Yes.
You have to try. And the more we can connect within the community, if there's such a big community there that is Spanish speaking, you've got to reach out to that part of the community. So it has to be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We enjoy the newsletter. Well, actually, I email a lot of times the exhibitors from that event, and they'll write me about what's coming up. As long as it's a free event, if anyone even listening has one, please let me know. We will put a QR code up for the DeSoto Digest, and let us know what's going on in the community. What can we share? How can we spread it? And there are even physical copies out in places. If you go to the library, if you go to Florida Farmhouse, if you go to All Faiths Food Bank, I mean, I could just keep going about the different places, but you can pick one up. So we're trying to help spread with that communication. Okay, so we have the event in 2023. I want to say to you that what we heard from our exhibitors was they wanted it bigger, and they wanted more time, and they wanted to do it again. So here we come. And in because of hurricanes, multiple, it got pushed back. But in 2025, we came to the Turner Center and we did it again. And I saw you at a table again.
Yes. I just can't sit still.
I know it. It was so good to see you. Anything, what you said about the event was great, but anything that was different than normal events that you see, or any other story you'd like to touch on before we move on?
I just want to say it was so well organized that's really important. I think a lot of people put on events and think it'll just happen. It doesn't. There was a lot that went on that the Patterson Foundation does behind the scenes that nobody else recognizes, and it was A+ in your execution of putting on that event. I think the idea that having the attendees make sure they go around to see all the booths, that's really important.
Yeah.
And otherwise they're just sitting around. You really need to kind of force people a little bit, making it fun with the competitions of best booth and that kind of thing. That's critical. They have to get out and start talking to people, and you never know what's going to happen. And the food was delicious too. That helps.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
That barbecue is
Yes.
top notch. Top notch. I love that. Okay, so I heard you talk a little bit about broadband and internet.
Yes.
So I want you to know, I see you at that January event, and then I see you again in Sarasota. So what we're going to do, we're going to weave through some initiatives here. Let's go into DA4A, Digital Access for All, has a symposium, the Suncoast Connect, Innovating and Thriving in the Digital Age Symposium. That is the official name of that symposium.
Yes.
I see you headlined on it. You're going to have your own breakout session. You're going to talk about rural communities with connectivity. Oh my gosh, fill me in. How was it? How was it?
Yes. You know, it was fun because I learned from the people that were there more than I'm sure that they got out of me.
Okay.
They got a lot of good input because I work with what we call our local technology planning team. The state of Florida's Office of Broadband has asked every county to do this. So they asked us to do it, so I'm a good little follower. I say, okay, I'll do it. Evidently not every county did it. And so we've been recognized, like, oh, good, look, DeSoto's done this. So we get signaled out a lot of times of just because we did what we were supposed to do. We meet occasionally.
Yes.
Sherry Corrier from Patterson has been very active, and so has Maribel Martinez.
And you're the lead, right? I looked that up. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had that correctly. You are the lead of that.
That means I host the Zoom calls. Yeah,
I'm sure you do a little more. I love it. I love it.
It was important to the state that we do this, and so we have done that, and it gives us some recognition. We are trying to get more input from different diverse groups, and I remember when I was in that session at the symposium, people were giving me ideas, and I'm like, why don't you have somebody just representing mothers? I thought, oh, they said, if you want to get something done, you ask a mother to do it.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're right. Yeah. My kid is long gone. I forget about those days. And then somebody else said, and you need, somebody from the Ministerial Association. Yeah, we do, because churches are really important in DeSoto. It just really helping me think, okay, I need to tap into some other resources. So it was great. People come up with great ideas, and that's where I think we learn the most is when we start to listen to other people.
Yeah, I was going to say that is one of your strengths. You are, I keep hearing you, you're all about listening. You're like a sponge. You want to soak it all up. You're listening. What could you gain? What could you learn? So that's great. I heard wonderful things about you there talking, and other people came up to me saying, what more can we do in DeSoto? How could we help DeSoto? How could we be a part of the growth that's going to happen in DeSoto? So I thought it was a great opportunity to showcase DeSoto, which is special.
It was a fun event, beautiful venue where you held it, and just I loved all the speakers were terrific. Learned so much.
Wonderful. Great. I hope to see you at something like that again.
Oh, you know it.
Okay, because broadband is your passion, or internet. Is that a big passion of yours?
It is, because it touches everything that we do. I mean, it's important for people at home. It's important for bringing business. We're not going to get good businesses here if we don't.
You're
have
right.
The connectivity. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Even agriculture now depends on great internet connectivity and AI. I mean, those tractors are computers on wheels out there.
Oh.
They tell, when you go through the field, they tell what nutrients you need, when you need to fertilize, when you need to water, when the crop is going to be. It's
wow. I didn't know that. Wow.
So, we need broadband just to continue in our ag ways. So it's something for everyone.
I have seen in the public capital report that came out after all those community conversations, I did see that need for connectivity. So you would say at this time, DeSoto, that is still a very big need?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. But it's something you're working on. I know you're the lead of, I want to make sure I get that correctly here. You are the lead of the local technology planning team.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one way. Any other ways that you're seeing, or people you're seeing coming out saying, let's get this connectivity fixed. I imagine it takes a long time to get something like that going and improving.
It does. A lot of people groups are waiting on the funding from the U.S. federal funding.
Okay.
And that's been delayed. as those things often
Yeah.
are. So when it's called BEAD, that comes in, that will make a big difference to incentivize those providers, because the county does not want to be in the providing of internet business. That's not for us.
Okay. Yeah. So federal funds, what we're waiting on. Well, I hope that there's enough support, enough people, enough, I don't know, a big team that can get that going, because that is definitely a need. And I love it. I love it. I love that you're passionate about it. That's great. Now, I want you to know, you do so much. You're a part of DeSoto in so many ways. I hear Rotary Club. I know you have your position. I hear you're the lead of different things. You're at all of our events. You're connecting with people. You're meeting with organizations. But what impressed me most about you is that now there are public innovators, and they are having community conversations. There's 4 separate teams, and it was a team about housing. I went to a community conversation. I am a member of that team, and you were there. And I thought, oh, I forgot she was a public innovator. And I sat there and I was like, that's so cool that maybe you were on a different team. I did not realize. And then I realized you came as, I'm going to say a resident, but you came as someone who's active in DeSoto to just hear and to speak about your aspirations in DeSoto. I thought that was so special. So I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to do it, because that's the only way we can make this work really happen, is to like really hear from people that live there, work there, eat, breathe, sleep DeSoto. That's what we need. So you go into this community conversation with other residents there to talk about their aspirations. And I heard you give some. I thought some of yours were so interesting. Like the key mark. Correct me.
I saw this. I saw it on LinkedIn, I believe, and it was an ad served to me, and it was signage. Yeah, that's very durable. Supposedly can withstand Cat 5 hurricane. That's digital and can be placed in all over the place. Yeah. And you can, of course, remotely feed it whatever you want. Put a calendar. Here's some events happening. This is going to be closed. This road is, And I thought, wow, that would be something that we could use, especially in some of our remoter communities that are not right downtown. They don't hear everything that's going on. So it's something I want to, we'd need a grant to get it probably, but it'd be the kind of thing that could be fantastic.
It's an aspiration, and it's a great aspiration.
Thank you.
It's that connectivity piece. There's people can't connect, so they might not know what's going on. If you don't have a physical paper, a physical newsletter, and you can't get access to a computer to learn things, there's this sign that can tell you events that are happening, roads that are closed, things that are going on. So it kind of takes your technology passion and mixes it in with the communication need. I loved it when I heard it. Okay. Another thing about you is you have a notebook and pen here. And what I noticed in the conversation is you were writing down anything you heard that you thought was interesting, beneficial, or that you could even play a role in. I heard you saying like, I'll follow up with you on that, and I was like, this is what the conversations are about. Yeah. Okay, were you nervous to walk into that conversation at all?
Not at all. Okay. The person who was leading it was Misty Servia.
Yes.
She is amazing.
Another one. Keep name dropping. Yes. I love this. I'm going to be emailing them.
Misty is incredible. She's amazing. The planning director for DeSoto County. And she and I both have a Manatee County connection. Okay. I've known her for years, and back through different positions that she's had, and then the fact that we both end up in DeSoto is terrific.
I love it.
And she's just got a passion for what she is doing, and that's, planning and economic development go hand in hand, because what they do is help with the land planning. You can't just build a building anywhere just because you own property. I was so naive when I first got into this whole area. I thought, oh, if I own this land, I can just do whatever I want with it, right? It doesn't work that way at all. So they work through that process of what is your zoning, what can you do, where can you do it, and it's not an easy process for anybody, but they do it so well. And she's got a great team there. So I'm so glad that she's embraced the housing issue. It is something that I think really just about the whole entire country. You can't go anywhere they will say, oh, our housing situation is perfect. You'll not find that. So we do have a need for workforce housing, not subsidized housing, but something that where teachers, firefighters, economic development directors can live.
Yeah,
it
right.
needs to be, and so it's just something that it will get addressed as time goes on. But it's a process, and you're helping spark those conversations, and that's where it starts.
Yeah, I was surprised you were talking about the zoning, and you were like, if someone wants to come in this zone or that zone, and we don't have this zone or that zone, and I think everyone there was shocked with what you were saying. Like, wait, so a company just couldn't come and just buy that land if it's not zone? And you were like, no, this is something we have to. But it wasn't like you weren't super negative about it. You're like, it can be done. We have to do it, but people have to learn. No one in that room knew that except Misty, I would assume, and you.
Yeah, she does know that.
Yes. And so I was like, I had no idea.
You don't. If that's not the world you live in, why would you need to know that?
But it directly impacts us so much.
Does.
So
Yes.
get rid of geometry in school and teach me about that. Okay.
That's great. Yeah. It's funny. In government, we kind of laugh about this. Nobody pays any attention to county lines where they are unless you work in government. We're the only ones that care when you cross a county line. It doesn't mean anything. If I ask you, where did you go on your last vacation? You'll probably say a city or something like that.
Right. You're
Do
right.
you know what county it was?
No.
No, nobody knows unless
No.
you're working in it. So it's, we have to realize that the rest of the world doesn't think the way we do, and kind of help them through the process.
Okay. All right. So zoning's a big thing. So you're busy over there. You've got
Things going on.
you got a lot going on.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. You like keeping busy?
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
because we are looking for more public innovators to go in and
Okay.
join us. So I might be sending you an email. We're all about making sure you have the capacity and that, you don't fill your bucket too much. But I think you are a public innovator, whether you have that official title or certificate, you're listening. You are doing things with the intention to have longevity with them, and you're really wanting positive change in the community. It's amazing.
You can make a difference in a place like DeSoto. I would be lost if I went to a big county. I would just be one other person, one other little hamster in the wheel. I don't like that.
Yeah.
This is what I need to be doing because I can see the ramifications and the effects of what we do.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is that's another thing that makes DeSoto so special. It really does.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for recognizing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I've grown to just love DeSoto County.
Good.
So much. The
Good.
people, the chain, I adore it. So before we wrap up today, I have to ask, since this is Discover DeSoto, what's one thing you'd highlight about DeSoto County? Whether it's a hidden gem, a favorite place to shop, a local dining spot, or a unique outdoor activity, what's something everyone should do and discover when they're in DeSoto?
What a great thing to ask. My gem is Horse Creek Retreat. This is on Horse Creek, as you can imagine. It's owned by a couple, and it used to be a state-run, like juvenile boys place.
Okay.
And they bought it, the cute little cabins that they turned into Airbnbs.
Yeah,
So
okay.
little cabins, they have camping opportunities. They did have a great big lodge. It was the kind of place that you would go on a church weekend retreat. The ladies would have rooms on one side, the men on the other side. There'd be, restrooms for women and men.
Yeah.
And it was really cute. Hurricane Ian demolished a lot of that. They are that hardy, kind of resilient. They put it back together again. And it's just a great, fun, kind of hidden place that you
Awesome.
wouldn't know unless you were looking for that kind of an experience. And I love the couple that runs it. I think they are the kind of people that you just want to have as your neighbors and friends. And the fact that they are so resilient, and they have goats there.
Oh, how fun!
They're so cool.
It's so
I
fun.
love goats. And it's just something that I wish more people knew about and would take advantage of. When they want a weekend away, you will feel like you have gone miles out into the great jungle, and yet you're just less than an hour away.
There it is. I love it. We will be sure to also showcase them in our
Good.
DeSoto Digest.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
we'll
you.
write up a piece. We'll spread the word. That's
Thank
great.
you.
We have not heard that one yet. So
Good.
perfect. I love that
Good. Oh, I'm so
recommendation.
glad.
Okay. Anything else that we missed that you'd like to make sure is said before we go today?
One other thing that I do.
Okay,
that
tell me.
initiative. I'm the film commissioner for DeSoto County. Every county has to have one.
Of course you
And,
are.
I found out that we didn't have one. I wrote to the film office in Florida and Tallahassee. I said, "You don't have a commissioner for DeSoto County," and they said, "Would you like to be that?" Sure, why not? So
Tell me more.
Trying to
Tell
get
me.
film, advertisements, movies, anything.
Wow.
And I've been approached. I get some weird ones. The one that really caught my eye was a text I received on a Saturday afternoon. At first I thought, oh, I'm not sure if this is legit. A producer for the show Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
Looking for something that is remote.
Yep.
And like, oh, we've got that.
Yeah.
That's the Peace River. So I don't know where that stands, how, I kind of have to back off. I make the introductions, but I would love us to get noticed in a few things. We've been on a PBS show.
Okay.
Just recently came out this summer. It's Hidden Americana, Florida. And they went to a lot of different small towns in Florida. They highlighted Arcadia, the Opera House, as well as our downtown.
Yes.
And it was a great piece. So, we are capturing the attention through film and video as well.
Because people like you are spreading the word and shouting. You're the cheerleader saying, come on, this place is amazing.
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
Yes.
Sondra, you are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. I can't wait to see you hopefully at another event or speaking or... you're go, go, go.
Absolutely. I'll be there. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, listeners, to learn more about how the Patterson Foundation is strengthening efforts to collectively create a stronger, more resilient community, visit DeSotoCountyAhead.net or thepattersonfoundation.org. And to subscribe to our monthly DeSoto Digest newsletters, where we share these monthly podcasts and news from DeSoto County residents, scan the QR code that you will see on the screen now. That's it for today. Tune in next time to Discover DeSoto. Bye-bye.
Together, we can create a DeSoto where opportunity, pride, and connection thrive.